You good? Right. All right, folks. Welcome back to I'm Just Saying Sports Talk. Today,
what's up?
We're going to talk about these new NCAA rules, specifically for basketball. So, man, what we have is this new rule that allows high prospects to be able to hire an agent, enter the draft, and if it doesn't work out, if they don't, as long as they don't sign a professional contract, they can return back to college and maintain their eligibility and return to their previous team.
Which is something similar to what they're doing now. Anyway, they can't hire an agent now.
Well, you can't sign a contract.
You cannot sign it. That's right.
You can't hire an agent.
Agent cannot.
But it's a little bit more, and so when you look at this, they say they're not going to put this in effect unless the NBA gets rid of the one and done.
I don't understand why they're trying to muddy the water, though.
Okay.
I really don't.
Well, I'm gonna go into that.
Yeah,
so
I understand it.
Okay. These changes, guys. The NCAA doesn't all of a sudden care about college players any more than they have.
That's right.
But this is really what's behind it.
Money.
I want y'all to see this. Y'all see this document right here? This was an investigation that was headed by Condoleezza Rice. This is the Commission on College Basketball. This commission was set up based on the FBI investigation. They were instructed to put together a team of folks that went in to investigate men's college basketball due to the corruption. So this is kind of a little bit what it says. It says that basically this was handed down by the Justice Department in the ongoing FBI investigation spurred on by the NCAA. And they basically were like saying, hey, they didn't have any choice but to do this, but based on all of the things that have been going on in college sports, and we see, even in football, guys selling shoes and all this stuff. So,
which is ridiculous.
Right. So, basically, this report makes recommendations. But we know what recommendations are when it has the FBI support behind it. They're basically telling you what to do.
Exactly.
So this report, basically, they did a lot of the homework for the NCAA men's basketball. They have a lot of, quote, recommendations for them. Let's just look at a couple of these things. Now, when we talk about NCAA basketball, this is also about USA basketball. USA basketball basically is the governing body over our college and our pro and our amateur athletics, all the way down to things like wheelchair basketball. So I don't know if they say, part of that provision says that only the highly recruited.
And I don't know how they're going to do that.
Well, they said that.
Have they decided, are they going to go by the ESPN 300,
No.
Rivals.com? What are they going to use?
They say
I haven't seen anything saying what they're going to
I'm going to tell you, this
determine.
This gives guidance on that. So now, USA Basketball was acting surprised about it. Like, why do we have to determine who's who? So in here, let me see if I can find it, folks. This document outlines that basically there should be 3 levels of players, college players. They have a level 1, which is national team potential, right? That's between our best 80 to 100 players. Level 2 is called highest collegiate potential, which are your next tier, which are 400 to 500 of the next best players. And then the level 3 are called just collegiate potential, which are your 2,000 to 2,500 next best players, right? So we already know that out of that top, that 80 to 100 are probably the ones or less that will be allowed to get an agent. Now, you want to know who determines which level, right? Okay. This document says that this is called player identification. It says USA Basketball will be primarily responsible for the identification of those players with the highest potential for level 1. So that means not the colleges, not your coach, not some website, not me or you, not some writers. That USA Basketball is supposed to determine who those 80 or
80 to 100.
100, right? All right. It says the NCAA will be primarily responsible for the identification of those players with the highest potential for level 2 and level 3. So that means the Zion Williamsons of the world are being judged by USA Basketball. The rest of the people are being looked at by the NCAA. They are going to rank them now. What kind of tool they're going to use or whatever. But so when USA Basketball is acting like we don't want any parts of this, well, guess what? If I have this report, they have this report.
That's right.
And this is backed by basically the feds saying, we're going to give you guys some recommendations, which we're going to tell you how to fix your problem. Right?
And then this isn't a fix. And the thing are, okay, for the 80 to 100, are they going to designate what schools these 80 to 100? Are they going to?
No.
I mean, how are you going to? How are you going to separate out the 80 to 100?
But if you look at it, right, or at face value, this rule looks like it only affects a handful of people a year because it's basically on average 8 players that have been identified that could probably per year that could probably go. The one and dones are basically coming from about 6 to 7 schools a year.
Yeah,
and it's really about an average of 8 players.
Yeah, that's about it.
Right. So they're probably going to extend this out to a little more. And then and you got to remember, you might have some foreign interests in here, some guys that.
And then you're going to have some high school kids.
Right. So if you take away the one and done.
That's
then
right.
you got the high school kids mixed in with those college guys that are leaving after the first year.
That's right.
That can at least explore it and go back. So you're going to have the ones that are definitely shoo-ins. They out of here. Then you're going to have those man children coming out of high school that's like, hey, let them try. Let's see what they can do. And then you're going to have those guys that play the year that's kind of on the cusp like, man, that guy can kind of ball. He might be all right. And a team might say, I'll take him now and develop him better than a college team would.
But when is the NBA going to change their rule to go back to? They're going to revert back to the 18-year-old.
Well, they're thinking 2000 was it 22?
I didn't see.
See, this is considered a long-term plan. What we're seeing is just the first little pebble of this wall of this project that they're going to do, because it even has things in here about the agents. They're trying to tighten up this agent deal. Yeah. See, right now, an agent is anybody, and if you're acting on behalf of somebody for financial gain, if you're going to get something out of it, and if you're representing me and going to make some money off me in any form or fashion, without any credentials, you're technically an agent. So if you're trying to get me money, and you're trying to get paid too. The only designation is if it's a high school coach trying to help you out or a parent. Yeah. Right? That's the only thing. But they're trying to clean those lines up too. Yeah. So what they're going to do is create this certified, I forgot what it's called. It's in here. But they're going to create a training program to certify agents. Yeah. Meaning you have to be certified, and you're going to need, when you read between the lines, you're going to have to choose one of these certified agents, or we're not dealing with just anybody. You're going to deal with these guys that know the rules, that have relationships, that have gone through our screening process, that have this training, because what Condoleezza Rice and her team is trying to do is insulate, to try and give, right now, colleges and the pros have a severe advantage over teenage guys that don't know, and
they're trying to cut out all those boosters, or those agents or whatever, giving out that money. Like, what's the word? Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
The issue that he had in Louisville.
Well, the thing
trying
is
to knock
this.
that in the head.
The thing is this, right? What she's trying to drive home the point is that these guys need to understand that it's a business. This is straight business.
It is.
Even though they're sitting at your parents' table in an informal setting,
Yeah.
behind it all, you're comfortable.
Yeah.
You're feeling like I'm just dealing with a coach. The coach is doing high-level business.
That's right.
And
That's right.
it needs to be understood from the gate.
Yeah, and you really, these coaches' job depend on these young fellas
Right.
coming into their school.
Right. They have a family to feed, and that's
right.
all they care about. They have to do what they have to do. So,
But like you were saying a little bit about the reading right here about the agent part.
Right.
So it looks like the new rules and the rules that the agents have to go by now, they're sort of clashing a little bit. But it says here that the NCAA, they're going to, they're going to pretty much change some of their things, or they're going to hold off on some of their rules until it's called the Uniform Athlete Agent Act. So they're going to wait until the agents their rules mesh together before they really put this in place.
well, yeah, they're going to kind of let it roll as is.
Yeah.
Until they come up with this program. They say that the NCAA. See, another thing this commission is doing, they're making the NCAA spend this money.
That's right.
That they're getting in. So this program to train these agents, they project that it's going to cost $1 million a year to run this. And so, they're going to have, they're trying to put some stipulations to weed out.
Yeah.
Some of these.
Now there's a committee that is being, or that has been, I guess developed now, or that will be developed to manage all this.
Yeah, well, they actually already have the committee.
Yeah, they already
this
have.
is just expanding their role,
Mm-hmm.
because I think people like Kiki Vandeweghe is a part of it. But this is expanding their roles and making them more, because it's been this, right? This is how the athlete's been treated. I'm coming here. I'm going to talk to your parents. I'm going to talk to your agent. I'm going to have you make these far-reaching decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it doesn't work out, they say, "Hey, that was their choice.
That's right.
I'm not responsible for educating them anymore. I can't help they made a bad choice and their pro career didn't work out."
Mm-hmm.
And what this commission is saying, no, we have to take more responsibility.
They do.
Into this. So check this out. What they are recommending that the NCAA do is that, so here are a couple of it says, one of their goals, one of the recommendations is permit students to receive a meaningful assessment of professional prospects earlier with assistance from certified agents. So what they're saying is, you're 6'9", you're talented. We got to start talking about realistically what you may need to do for your career early. And a lot of this has a hands-on component where they're supposed to reach out to these kids early and often.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying. So they're saying they should be able to get advice, be able to get guidance, be able to ask questions without the pressure of you need to sign right now, but early. Like really exploring this safely without losing eligibility, being able to talk to, now you can't halfway talk to people the way you need to without it being an issue or it look funny. So I think they're trying to remove some of those barriers for them. Go ahead, man.
But it's still kind of interesting I just trying to figure out how they're going to determine the 80 through 100. I mean, right now.
Well, that's their job. I don't know
how they're going to do that. Other than they are going to then, they're going to start isolating some kids.
Well, they said this.
I mean, it's not going to. I think it's going to cause it more of a problem.
Well, they said one indication is how heavily recruited are you? They're going to look at who's getting these hits, who's sending all these letters, who's like, all these coaches talk. Yeah. They're all after the same ones.
Yeah.
So they're gonna one part component is they're gonna gauge it is how high is the interest? Just like it's like a movie. How many people going to see them? How many people are actually
and see, if you notice though, I think this is going to hurt the mid majors again, because you had athletes that were probably 3-star, 4-star, whatever, but I think the rating system may be different now. So that 3-star that could have went to Duke, but he didn't go to Duke because he's a 3-star and he know that Duke got all these 5-stars. But now he's going to fall within that 80 to 100 gap. So that's going to
not necessarily.
I'm just saying
because all right.
I think it's gonna hurt.
I think
college basketball.
Well, I think you get people who go to mid majors for different reasons.
Yeah.
Some for playing time. Some because the grades might not quite have been right.
Yeah.
Some because they made a slight mistake. So I think the shakeout initially, because people habits haven't changed yet. The way they view players necessarily haven't changed yet. I think that's going to change after the rules change.
So are you thinking are these colleges going to start having these super teams like the Golden State Warriors and things like that? I mean, do you think this rule is going to affect that?
All right.
The reason why I say because you got guys like Krzyzewski and
no, I think it'll
guys like him that are in the end. They're in the in crowd.
Well, yeah.
So they're going to start getting.
Well, I think what'll happen is initially, right? You're going to say, hey, I still don't mind going to Duke because now, I can still entertain getting an agent. So they're going to have to do a lot more talking up front. But if you can, think about it. If you can come out like Zion, if this was the rule right now, Zion would have an agent and he wouldn't be at Duke.
Yeah.
What I think it frees up for Duke is those guys that are talented but are not quite sure if they're ready.
He would be at Duke because they hadn't changed the age limit yet.
Yeah, no, but if this goes into effect, that means the age limit would be changed.
That's right.
So Zion wouldn't be there.
So
that spot would be automatically, you won't even have to entertain him being there for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to get guys that have not been recruited like Zion. Like his body is ready. He has the hype, the clout in a team, and the NBA team is ready to develop.
But he ain't got no jumper.
Huh?
He ain't got no jumper.
Right, but what I'm saying is, all it takes is a coach and organization that's real, be honest.
Well,
like they're willing to develop him.
My opinion to all this is just they're doing all this because somebody just needs a job. Somebody needs something.
No, they're being made to do it.
I know, but
they're being made to do it.
But I think this is going to hurt the college game more. I
don't know, man.
I think the college game, they need to leave it alone or nothing else. Do basketball the way they do football. You can't come out till after your junior year.
No, but this is the thing. If you can come out,
you're going to develop better players. Well, I'm just saying this is going to have a lot of kids like Kwame Brown.
No.
Because Kwame Brown was number one in the nation coming out of high school.
This is who it would hurt the most. This is who it would hurt the most.
These boys need to go to college.
No. This is who it would hurt the most. This is why it doesn't hurt. If you sign a contract and then you bust, if you don't sign a big contract and you bust, it hurts you.
Yeah.
If you sign a big contract and you bust, you still got paid.
Yeah, but you don't kill the game though. The game is stinking.
No,
but see, the boys gonna get paid. But you gotta
think. But you gotta think. The way this is set up, you're gonna get an honest appraisal of where you are. Meaning, you can talk to teams now. Like, you don't have to guess. You can talk. You got an agent that can go out there and say, look, man, all they're offering you is $500,000.
Yeah. Well, my argument is these kids nowadays they got a lot on their plate anyway. So now you got to worry about all this new crap. They got to worry about a lot of stuff anyway.
It cleans the front end up.
I know, but here again, it's adults making all these decisions, cleaning up stuff and all.
No, I think that it
let
allows.
These boys go to school.
No, but see, not all these kids want to go. So you're just taking a spot to make it like I want to go. Some of them don't want to go.
And if they don't go, then establish a development league.
That's what. But
Ball's doing.
But they already have a development league.
That's right.
They have a G League.
And let them go there.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
But you can do that. But you may be good enough to where they say, You can be the 12th man on the bench. You better than those guys. We need you up here to develop under a pro contract. Or they do the dual roster. The thing is, you don't have to take it. The good thing about it is, if you get an agent and the deal isn't what you want, go to school if you still got that option.
True.
As long as you don't sign the professional contract, you are free to say, hey, it's just this allows them to explore it without just, I'm going to go take up a scholarship spot and then do it. Now, the other thing, this is what I find interesting. It says they want the NCAA to make a promise of a education real. This is what they are proposing. If you go to school 2 years and your academic career and your athletic career is over, once you've done 2 years, that the NCAA, they should take a portion, they should take a lot of that tournament money and establish a fund for these universities to allow the athlete, after they've put in 2 years, the ability to complete their education. So whether you go pro and quit, whether you get cut from the team and it just don't hurt, either way, once you've done 2 years of basketball, that school is committed to educating you now.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
And then it says, for some schools, it may create a burden. They recognize that in this report. So therefore, those NCAA tournament monies, some of that needs to go to those schools that is going to create a financial burden to continue paying for the education of those athletes that are no longer playing for them.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is. But with all this, who is going to track all this money? And somebody's pockets is getting greased.
Well, look, they are. No. The catch is, it's not whether it's expensive, but the money is already there.
Yeah.
They've already generating money hand over fist.
They are.
You know, so the money is there. It's just now they're going to make them use it in ways they probably didn't want to use that money.
Yeah.
It's just not going to all go into the coffer or somebody athletic complex or whatever, or paying a coach out the front. You know what I'm saying? So I think trying to level the field for the average. See, my thing is the Zion Williamson. I don't mean to say his name, but the Zions of the world won't always be okay.
Yeah.
But it's about the average athlete. How much of this is going to trickle down to the person that's going to play sports 4 years and go on and live a regular life? That's what I want to see. At least this part is every athlete that you bring in there under some type of scholarship, you are basically tied. After they play for you for 2 years, you are responsible for funding the rest of their education.
Yeah.
At least how this reads right now. How it actually may play out, who knows? But they are trying to do something.
So it looks like, and I got to read more up on this, but they're talking about the these regional camps. Did you see that where they were talking about the regional camps? And I guess that's how they're going to do some of these ratings. But let me see. It says
I think they're supposed to hold it like once in the summer or periodically, because what they have to do is they have to ongoingly assess the development. Like if USA Basketball is going to do it, they're going to have a way to assess, where these guys are, so that they can properly say they're still in there 80 to 100 or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's just I think it's going to be a huge learning curve for the for the parents, the kids, the agents.
The best thing,
but you're gonna have some agents out there they're gonna find some loopholes in this too. And they're gonna do something dirty. But
this is gonna keep the dirty ones out that keep popping up.
Yeah, because you got to have that training.
Yeah, you got to have that training. You're gonna have to have the stamp.
You still got to be certified.
They're probably not gonna even let you in the room to talk
on
behalf of one of these athletes, no matter how much they want you convince them to be. Right. So they're gonna say, "Look, man, we can't even deal with you unless you get somebody off this list."
Yeah,
which is fine. Which is some type of control to keep some integrity in that part of it. But
with the kids, I haven't seen anything on that. But those that don't want to have an agent, can they still be a part of the draft?
You mean go agent list?
Yes, like they do now.
I think that's an option, but why would you when now you can get some legal representation and have somebody working, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now, because that's part of the problem, how you get done dirty. If you in there without a team and you just kind of, you know what I mean?
You flounder by yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, it's strength in numbers. So
there's going to be some out there like that. There's going to be some kids out there where their parents feel that they can make it without an agent, or those parents feel they can be their manager.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. And if they pull it off, good for them.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then hey, it is what it is.
But I think that's good though. Those kids can go back. Now, even if you
see, this is the catch. Where you going?
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to change some recruiting timelines.
Yeah.
Because say you got a player, you a coach, and your player say, "Hey, I got me an agent, coach. I'm gonna give this a shot." You have a scholarship being held up. Now you've gone based on I think how it's currently set up. You've missed a window to recruit for a spot. So my thing would be this: okay, we're gonna determine early if you're gonna go. See, it gotta be something to where that spot can be free so you can recruit in case.
Because it looks like these camps aren't gonna be held like June and July.
Yeah, well, I think they're gonna, like I said, I think this is a long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're gonna have to adjust some timelines to allow coaches the opportunity to fill a spot that may be gone.
Yeah.
And I think I really think what's gonna happen is that by the time a kid, say they leave in Carolina, Duke, whatever school, by the time they get an agent, I think it's pretty much going to be understood that a team wants to sign them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be this guesswork of I'm going to get an agent and just throw my, because you're going to have to balance, like, a coach probably say, look, man, you can come back, but your scholarship gone.
See?
Now, but if you've played 2 years, they can go pull your money from. But if you play 2 years.
Yeah.
Say you want to try it after your second year.
Yeah.
But you've put in 2.
Yeah.
You don't have to use the scholarship
But
money.
you still can go play. I mean, you still can go to school. You just won't be able to play.
No. You can come back. Say you played at Duke 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you say, I want to get me an agent and try the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get out there and find out there's still no market for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, coach, I want to come back. Because you've played 2, based on how this works, he doesn't have to use scholarship money. He can go into that pot that you have to now finish off that guy's education so you can pay for his school and still give him a spot on the team.
But what if there ain't no spot?
But that's the conversation you have to have with a coach. Like none of this is, all these are grown man decisions.
That's right. Because some of these kids like you hung out there to dry now because these coaches,
you gotta know what you're doing.
These coaches' lives depend on these kids.
You can't be playing. Like what I'm saying is, but they're giving them the tools to say, okay, we understand y'all been victimized and you're not getting paid, but we're gonna try to do some things. And even in this report, it still says like they call it the they still recognize that this isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't address how the companies are doing these endorsements with the coach. Like they're still saying, man, there's more work to be done as far as that. And I think they want to do a whole nother investigation to figure out that whole relationship. Yeah. Because the problem is those are private companies that you just can't run in and investigate like that. You can't just make Nike open up their books and tell you.
Well, how do you think this is going to affect the AAU world?
Man, well, I think with changes this sweeping, you have to clean out the dirt at all levels. Mm-hmm. And I think the first thing is going to have to be some education. Mm-hmm. And it's going to have to be understood that not all of y'all need to be running out here trying to get no agent.
That's right.
And because this really affects everything from the top to the bottom.
It does.
And so I think education is going to have to be the part to where they understand how this system works.
Yeah.
Like I think amongst all the X's and O's, if you're trying to raise or develop professional athletes and collegiate athletes, you are doing them a disservice if they don't understand how all of this works.
Well, it's funny you speak about education. Let me just throw out this: what Dan Gavitt, who was the NCAA's senior vice president of basketball, what he said about the education part that you're talking about. He said there's going to be educational components to this as well. I don't mean just A's and B's and C's of education. He said life skills, education about their recruitment and the eligibility process. I would imagine education about the pre-draft process so that prospects and their families get complete information about every level of the game so they can make informed decisions. There's going to be academic eligibility to qualify as well. So the first layer is going to be that each prospect has to have registered with the NCAA clearinghouse, which they already do.
Yeah, we do.
And that's the first year of the only requirement. So any Division I or II prospect has to go through the process anyway. So the sooner they get registered, the sooner they can get information to be eligible and receive a scholarship. And he said further down the road, we may try to determine more academic requirements. So,
okay, so you know why that's in place? They recommend in this report under player development. Player development must expand well beyond basketball to include academic, health, wellness, and life skills. Right? It says the commission recommends 4 physical interaction with pre-collegiate players at each level annually.
That's right.
All right. It says camps, clinics, tournaments with continuing online education and mentoring throughout the year. So that's what he's alluding to, which is out of this report, right? So here's another thing. It says player evaluation. The most important outcome of a player evaluation is a realistic assessment of a player's potential, right? The commission recommends that a collaborative advisory group among the NCAA, USA Basketball, and the NBA and the NBA Players Association, four-headed monster here, be established. So they got to create an advisory group with those 4 entities to provide realistic assessments of professional potential to players of levels 1 and 2 that we talked about.
That's right.
All right, so they got a lot of work to do. This thing is going to change.
And these camps that you mentioned, like it's saying here, these camps haven't even been approved yet by the National Federation of State High School Associations.
It's a long-term plan.
That's right.
It's a long-term plan.
So
they got to develop this stuff.
That's a lot they got to develop.
And this is what it says. Importantly, the commission believes that these evaluations must be transparent and accessible. Meaning you can't go do this side thing off to the side. Like, however it comes out, everybody, you know, you're not going to sneak somebody in.
And it's looking like the NCAA, with these camps that's going to be going on, they're not even paying a dime. They ain't putting no money into it.
Well,
it says these finances will fall on states and their high school associations. Yeah. Some states will wind up being much bigger destination spots than many others because of how well their events are run.
Yeah, so okay. Well, hey man, and it's a lot to this. This document is like 50 pages.
Yes.
But what we're trying to tell everybody is, don't think this stuff is coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
Don't think that all of a sudden the light went off and they said, oh, you know what, we need to do something. No. This is a result of their investigation, that one that was written by Condoleezza Rice. They have to do this stuff. They are in hot water.
And it's a result of greed.
Yeah, it was a result of greed.
The NCAA have made some huge mistakes. The agents have made some huge mistakes. Coaches as well. But it's all about that dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids have bought in millions of dollars, and these guys want to capitalize on it. But I think now this is going to end a little bit.
Athletes, coaches, parents, whoever.
Get it and read it.
Get this and read it. This is the future of where college and pro basketball is headed and where they intersect, right? And this is how it's going to affect your developmental leagues, your AAU or whatever. Get this and read it.
That's right.
All right? Read it for yourself and you'll see the recommendations that they are being given. This is why Adam Silver all of a sudden, I'm thinking about getting rid of this. No, you're not thinking about getting rid of this. They told you to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
It's going to change.
Happen.
So hey, athletes, read it. You in school right now? Get this out and read it. Ask your coach, has he read it? Probably not. So don't just take what these people are telling you. They have directives.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our thoughts. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
Please elaborate.
Tell us what you heard.
What you want to add.
Add to it. Enlighten us. All right. But we just trying to start the conversation. This is the stuff that ESPN, they're never going to pull this in front of you.
Nah.
You're not getting this on ESPN. You're not getting it on Fox. You're not getting it anywhere but here.
Right.
So click the bell. I'm just saying. Subscribe. Do all that stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you for your support. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, man. You got it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.